Hi, everybody, and welcome to Evolve Love. I am your host, Amanda, and I am so happy that you have found this podcast. Are you looking for daily inspiration, motivation, and wisdom to help you begin your day feeling supported and uplifted with love? Well, you have come to the right place. This podcast is a space of encouragement where you can be held in your self-development because in order to evolve, you need love, and it begins here with you. Now, let's get into today's episode. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Evolve Love. I am so happy to be back after a week off, and the week that I took off is going to be what we talk about this week. It is all that I learned, all that I felt in this week, and why I think it is so important for all of us to do work like this for ourselves. And today, like I said, the whole week is going to be based around the theme of what I learned during this at-home retreat and how it can work for yourself. So let's get right into it. When I began my retreat week, the moon was in Capricorn on that Monday. And I found such a feeling of this retreat week for myself is to ground into me before climbing the mountain. So when you think about Capricorn as a symbol, we have, the sea goat climbing the mountain. And I felt like I couldn't even begin the climb until I felt grounded in the base. And this is what that retreat week for me was. And it really initially started because I kept feeling this call to slow down, take a break, take a pause. And I did. And as soon as I did, this thought came through, and the thought was, you cannot teach what you yourself have not integrated. And this was a really big concept for me. And I feel this all the time. I mean, as a dance teacher, I've been a teacher most of my life, and when I think about it, I really can't teach and share on experiences that I've had that I haven't already had myself. And so everything that I'm building here with Evolve Love also has to do with the self-work, the self-development that goes into this. And I felt deeply called to take that time and space, because by me taking that time and space, I can share about it with you here. So today, how this segues, today the moon is in Aries, and Aries is the first sign of the zodiac wheel. And Aries is all about self-energy. It is fire. It is the I am energy. So in this week, this is also, I should start off, if most of you probably know this, but this week is a very powerful week. We are heading into Lionsgate on Saturday, and this is one of the most beautiful portals in our year. And this is all about that self-energy too. It's about what you are going to be manifesting and bringing in to this world. And there has been over the past week too, like this week, last week, so many big shifts that have been happening for the world as a whole, for the collective as a whole. And it's all turning towards what we can do for others too, not just for ourselves, but the work that we do as ourselves, how it benefits the other. And so it's not just work that we do that benefits us, it's work that we do that benefits the collective. And with this whole thing, like all these energies, it's bright, it's positive, it's uplifting, it's encouraging, it's empowering. The first part that we need to start in this whole journey is with ourselves. Because if we are rooted in self, if we are grounded in self, our foundation is so strong that if a wind came or a storm came, we wouldn't be knocked down. We would be firmly held and know that we have these principles and these ideas and things to maybe fall back on in times of need. So what are we doing here? What is this at-home retreat? So if we think about the retreat as creating your foundation for self, today is Aries, like I said, in the moon sign, and thinking about who are you? What do you want? What does yourself want or need at this time? You as yourself might actually be like, no, I need to get busy. I've been sitting around. I need to go do stuff. So maybe your retreat week looks more like taking off and doing little adventures here and there, bringing yourself outside of your comfort zone of the things that you typically do, or getting out of the routine that you always do from day to day. Maybe you are going nonstop like I was, and your retreat is going to tell you to slow down, stay home, work on yourself, get quiet, turn all the noise off. Maybe you don't need to input any additional material in knowledge building this week, okay? Maybe you don't need to build on any of the curiosities that you have. Maybe you just need stillness. And so this retreat is really what you want to make of it. Okay, so I'm feeling fired up. I hope you are too. Like this energy, this excitement at the beginning of this week, getting us ready for this retreat experience. So in today, when we talk about our intention setting, we talk about what are you looking to add to your life? What is this retreat going to do? Is it going to add, like I said, more experience? Is it going to add more stillness? What is it that you really want and need right now? So by asking ourselves that question, this is going to set up the retreat. Now, for me, I needed stillness, as you know. So some of the things that I did in my retreat week as I mapped it out, because what I did was I took the days and each day I made sure I did at least one of these items to give back to myself in that retreat-like manner. So meditation was one that I really was drawn to, especially long meditations. I challenged myself to listen to longer ones, and it was interesting because there were moments that it was so needed, and there were moments where I found it so hard, and that impatience in me was like, okay, when is this going to be over? Or sometimes I would like fall asleep and then I'm like, did I just waste that meditation? I just fell asleep in the middle of it, whatever it is, it was a lesson for me to learn. And we're going to dive into this further into the week as we go. For me, journaling was a huge part. And also to journaling without prompt. And that was incredibly hard for me. I'm actually going to talk about it in one of the weeks because I literally was like, I don't know what to say. And then I realized how much of myself and my power I was giving away in my journaling because I began relying so much on prompts. Like, well, I don't know what to write because I don't have a question in front of me. So I guess it's not that important. But then it flipped. And what happened was just like so beautiful to see. Reading. If you feel called to read or pick up a new book or a new audio book, I wanted to take a class, watching even a TV series. Maybe you're not someone who watches TV and you wanted to give yourself some time to just kind of escape into another world in your TV series that you choose. So those are different ideas for that stillness that you're looking for if that's for you. But the other thing I noticed in my week of stillness is just like really listening to my body. I've been very in tune with my body. I've always attributed that to being a dancer because I use my body all the time as a tool for my art. And I'm very much listening in to when things don't feel right or when things feel good. And something that I had taken note of this week was I just like felt this visual and this image of congestion in my body, particularly my left side. And I know that that's related a lot to the feminine, but like left side body congestion. And so I, thought about that. I did some work with that, which again, I'll share with you as the week goes on, but really interesting there. I even like part of my retreat week, I guess I'll share with you now, since that way I'll go along with all the items I've been talking about. But with this congestion, I felt this need to like work through and like physically like self-massage my feet, my calves, my legs. I did legs up the wall. I felt like this need of like pulling the congestion out of me or to like shake the congestion up to kind of like let it loose. Drinking a lot of water, things like that. These are things that I've been incorporating that I normally would never do and feel like I don't have the time to do, but I just felt really called. And in the stillness, I had that instinct to do that. The other thing too that I felt really called to was just like, diving a little bit more into my family tree, my ancestors and things like that. And seeing the work that they did and how it plays into who I am and also how it plays into the next generation, like my children, and what kind of role model I want to be for them or what do I want to be like as a mother for them. Like these are all things that like really in the stillness, I took time to think about in this week. Even just laying out in the hammock, like I was thinking to myself, we have this beautiful hammock set up, and I think I can count on one hand the number of times I've sat in it for longer than a 2-minute time period in the summer. And I just felt so called to just like be in the hammock for like over 2 minutes, And so that was really beautiful. And just like, I noticed too, like the swaying of the hammock, I felt so held. I felt so supported. I felt, suspended in that feeling of like swaying. And there was something very comforting about that. And kind of like being like the little infant in the newborn swing or something like that. There was something about it that I just felt very held with. So this was a lot of randomness in our first day here talking about retreats, but I wanted to really share my experience with you. Also to give you different ideas that maybe you might want to jump into and try out if you are interested in doing a retreat. Because mine was more of a stillness one. Those are the ideas I'm going to be sharing here. But if you feel like you need to be active and get out there, maybe each day you create a new place or route or space or item or activity that you can accomplish in each of the days to see what lessons it brings you and what emotions come up for you in it. So we are right now in that Lionsgate time period leading up to the 8th on Saturday. And I just want us to really feel an enjoyment of life, because this is that energy. We want to feel this golden sunshine, this warmth, this, inspiration, or acting to the things that inspire us, going towards the things that are on our heart. That is very much what this energy is supporting. And if you are looking for more Leo season ideas or things that you could do even around the Lionsgate portal, I do have some suggestions and a free meditation in my Leo season newsletter. So if you haven't subscribed yet already, make sure you check out the link in my Instagram bio at _evolve love. And I will also include the link to the newsletter sign up in the show notes here. So I'm really looking forward to talking with you tomorrow as we continue this idea on the retreat, because I have something for you that is launching that is hopefully going to support you even further and in even more depth as we head into this month. All right, everyone, I hope you have a beautiful rest of your Monday, and I will check back with you tomorrow.